In another one of those incredible stories, a Trump-loving woman voted for Donald Trump, and later ICE arrested her immigrant husband during their honeymoon at Trump's golf club. I don't even think Kafkaesque is enough to describe this situation. We are talking, of course, of Brian Jose Rojas Galofre, decided to give his wife what she really wanted for their honeymoon, which was to see Donald Trump in the flesh. She loves Trump. She voted for Trump. They figured out, listen, there's a Republican retreat happening at Donald Trump's Doral Golf Club in Florida. So they were clever. They booked rooms at Trump's club. They take a beautiful road trip from Wisconsin down to Florida. They go to Trump's hotel where ICE detains him and puts him in an ice cage for 3 months. He was accused of being in a gang. He was threatened with deportation to El Salvador. He lost his job. He lost his work permit. The family has lost their house and car. They spent the 401k money they had, and they are now in debt. It is another example of Trump destroying a family. Sort of an ironic side note, his wife's name is Socorro Zaragoza. Socorro means help in Spanish. It's almost like SOS. Her name means help, help, which is very apropos of the situation. Now, let's be very clear. The guy really did everything right. We're going to get to his civil infractions in a moment, but he came here during the Biden administration and turned himself in to Border Patrol. He didn't try to hide in the country. He requested asylum, saying, I am fleeing Venezuela for political reasons. Border Patrol processed him and released him into the United States while working on the asylum application. He got a job working at a brake disc factory. He was paying taxes. He was earning $29 an hour. He was promoted to supervisor for his good work. He was a productive member of society doing things correctly. He marries an American woman. He then says, hey, now I can adjust my immigration status because I married a citizen. He did it all right. They get to Trump's golf club. Under a car seat, there's an air pistol. It's known as an airsoft gun. These fire plastic pellets and they're used for recreational purposes. And his wife said she carries it for personal safety when she drives alone. It looks like a real firearm. It's not. It does fire these pellets. Okay. Authorities also found a metal marijuana grinder in the passenger side glove compartment. And so the couple was arrested by local PD, charged with a count of possession of drug paraphernalia with intent to use. They pleaded not guilty. That case remains open as of right now. But this, combined with seeing the guy's tattoos, the situation escalates, allegations of gang membership, all of this stuff. Now, their lawyer has said, we are really talking about civil infractions here. This is not an appropriate immigration outcome as a result. And what's important to remember is that Donald Trump loves to talk about and said during his campaign, we are going to go after burdens on American society. We need to do something about the people that are holding back and dragging down society. This guy did everything right. He was working. He was paying taxes. And after all of this, you would think, well, I'm sure now his wife no longer loves Trump, right? She no longer supports Trump. Wrong. She says after all of this, her feelings towards Trump haven't changed. She still loves Trump. She's happy to have voted for Trump. Quote, I don't think anything bad about the president. It wasn't his fault. It was our fault. Oh, boy. I mean, listen, it certainly is their fault that they chose to go to Trump's golf club in the circumstances they found themselves in. That you could say is their fault. That was their call. But this is another example of Trump destroying families with policies that are not making us any safer. We are no safer because this guy was arrested and thrown into an ice cage for 3 months. We're just not any safer. There's no evidence or factual basis you can point to say the country was made safer by detaining and arresting this guy and ultimately charging him. Just not the case. Now, you might think all the way back to when Donald Trump was asked about, well, Who are you going to target? And Trump goes, we're going to target criminals, nasty people. Now, it'll probably happen that like a mom or a kid is somehow swept up in this, and then people are going to be all upset and, I'll get criticized. But no, we're going to really target the burdens, the criminals, et cetera. Well, we know that that's not happening. And we know it's not happening because of story after story like this, and the reality that there simply aren't enough of these so-called criminal illegals in the country to make the quota that the Trump administration wants to make with regard to detaining, imprisoning, and deporting undocumented criminal aliens, as they like to call them. The numbers simply don't work. We knew that all along, and we predicted, a lot of people predicted, that they were going to just start wrapping people up wholesale, whoever they could find. On a personal level, the kind of cognitive dissonance here, where they blame themselves only and she still loves Trump, is a reminder of the whole I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and I wouldn't even lose support. I support Trump. Oh, yeah? What if he arrests or maybe even deports your partner? Well, that would be our fault. I would still then support Donald Trump. Now, there's another layer to this, which is I wish support didn't depend. Sometimes we talk about these Republicans who are like anti-gay their whole career, and then all of a sudden they have a gay niece or a gay nephew or kid or something like that. And they go, well, this really made me see the light. At least in those cases, they are revising their views. That's actually better. The people who are in that situation and go, I'm not even going to reconsider my perspective based on learning more about how this actually works, I think that they're actually even worse. A sad, tragic story, again, of a family ruined by Donald Trump. The policy never made sense, but Trump did promise at least some elements of this, and people fall for it thinking it's not going to affect me. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos and make sure to subscribe so YouTube keeps our content in your feed. And if you prefer audio, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple.